Last remaining territory on the planet that could have such a designation is Antarctica.
In this video, we'll explore the controversial claims and intriguing evidence suggesting that Antarctica may hold secrets that could rewrite human history. From mysterious skulls and ancient maps to tales of extraterrestrial beings and lost cities, Antarctica has captivated the imagination of explorers and conspiracy theorists alike. So let's delve into some of the secrets hiding beneath the ice. Atlantis in Antarctica. Have scientists discovered Atlantis? Recently, strange structures have been found buried beneath half a mile of ice in Antarctica, possibly hinting at the legendary lost city of Atlantis. If this remarkable find is confirmed, it could change our understanding of history. The tale of Atlantis has fascinated people for centuries. The Greek philosopher Plato first wrote about it, describing a highly advanced society ruled by demigods. According to his accounts, these demigods built a perfect civilization that eventually became too proud, leading to its destruction by the gods. Plato depicted Atlantis as a series of islands or rings separated by large waterways, with canals connecting them like highways. From above, it might have resembled a vast maze of water and land, filled with stunning buildings made of glass and gold. He described it as a land rich in wildlife, exotic foods, and endless pleasures. What many overlook is that Atlantis wasn't just a city, it was a country. Its capital sat at the center of these rings, but its territory was enormous, possibly the size of Spain, although its exact size remains a mystery. Plato claimed this all took place around 9,000 years before his time.
Was writing about events that took place 9,000 years before his time,
dating Atlantis to about 11,000 to 12,000 years ago. If the Antarctic discovery is validated, it could be the first real evidence of Atlantis. However, exploring beneath the Antarctic ice is incredibly challenging, even with modern technology, making it hard to understand the true nature of these structures. The idea of Atlantis raises exciting questions about the history of human civilization. Could this ancient society have been more advanced than we think? The answers might lie buried under the ice, just waiting to be uncovered. A hole without a clue. In 2024, a mysterious hole appeared in Antarctica, leaving experts puzzled. This isn't just any hole. It's massive, about 30,000 square miles, nearly the size of Lake Superior. No one knows why it formed or what might be lurking beneath it. Some scientists have suggested climate change as a possible cause, but there's no clear explanation. Kent Moore, an atmospheric scientist from the University of Toronto, described the hole as quite remarkable, saying it looks as if someone just punched a hole through the ice. Interestingly, this isn't the first time such holes have been observed. Scientists have even given a name to these sudden openings, calling them polynyas. The particular hole currently under scrutiny was first noticed back in the 1970s, shocking scientists then, and still astonishing them today. What's intriguing is that the hole disappeared for decades, and has now returned. With no definitive link between climate change and these gigantic holes, scientists are left scratching their heads. It's possible that something hidden beneath the ice is generating enough energy to create such a massive opening in one of the coldest places on Earth. What could it be? The mystery deepens. Mysterious skulls. The icy expanse of Antarctica holds many secrets, but one of the most fascinating and controversial discoveries involves human remains dating back centuries before the continent was officially discovered. For decades, rumours have circulated about ancient civilizations and even extraterrestrial beings inhabiting Antarctica. Recently, there have been claims about strange elongated skulls found in the region. Some people believe these skulls might belong to aliens, suggesting they visited Earth long before Antarctica was covered in ice. These theories often mention beings like the Anunnaki or other mystical entities. If you haven't heard of these Antarctic skulls, you're not alone. There's not much information available in mainstream scientific sources. Reports mention an archaeologist named Damon Waters, who supposedly discovered the skulls in a place called Lai, but there seems to be no record of either. This raises doubts about the credibility of these claims. While it's possible some elongated skulls were found, they appear to have vanished from sight. In 1985, Chilean biologist Dr. Daniel Torres made a significant discovery on Yamana Beach, uncovering the skeleton of a young woman who lived in Antarctica around 1819. This challenged the common belief that the continent remained uninhabited until the early 19th century. The origin of these remains is still debated. Some experts believe she was an indigenous Chilean who ventured to Antarctica, possibly for fishing or whaling. Others suggest a darker possibility, that she may have been part of an early expedition and discarded as an unwilling passenger. This topic remains one of the most controversial in discussions about Antarctica. Dr. Torres's findings suggest that indigenous Chileans may have made the first human landing on the continent, adding a new layer to our understanding of its history. Shifting poles and displaced crusts. According to ancient Mexican myths, around 12,500 years ago, a global cataclysm struck the Earth. Mesoamerican codices tell tales of a great disaster occurring in 10,500 BC, which marked the beginning of 4 periods of climate chaos, each devastating a different civilization. In 1872, scientists began to explore what might have caused this great disaster. One early idea came from Charles Attenborough de Borg, who suggested that a shift in the Earth's axis could be responsible. His hypothesis, known as the cataclysmic pole shift theory, is considered pseudoscience today. It proposed that sudden changes in the Earth's rotational axis could trigger floods and violent tectonic activity, leading to dramatic weather shifts and earthquakes. However, this theory has never been proven, and it remains largely speculative. A similar concept, known as the crustal displacement hypothesis, was put forward by scientist Charles Hapgood. He was fascinated by natural disasters and their potential to destroy civilizations. Hapgood believed that when too much ice builds up at the poles, it could destabilize the planet, causing the Earth's crust to shift. He argued that this displacement could occur every 5,000 years or so, as accumulated ice creates a significant change. When this happens, continents might move dramatically, resulting in widespread floods that devastate everything in their path. If Hapgood's theory were proven true, it could reshape our understanding of world history. For example, an island in the Atlantic Ocean might have shifted to where Antarctica is now, suggesting that Antarctica could have once been much further north and possibly home to a lost civilization, maybe even Atlantis, or a precursor to the Egyptians. The possibilities are fascinating and open up a world of imagination. Fragments of a lost world. Thanks to satellite technology, remnants of a lost continent have been discovered beneath Antarctica. Actually, the remains of several continents. This significant geological finding would not have been possible without advanced technology. The European Space Agency's gravity field and Ocean Circulation Explorer satellite created detailed maps of the planet's gravitational field. By combining these maps with seismological data, geologists have gained an unprecedented view of the crust underneath Antarctica. Researchers from Germany's Kiel University were instrumental in this groundbreaking study, producing a map that acts like a CT scan of Earth's structure hidden beneath the ice. While this map doesn't provide evidence of Atlantis or any ancient civilizations in Antarctica, it reveals fascinating geological features. Scientists identified fractured layers of crust that resemble the crusts of continents and coastlines found elsewhere in the world. These layers fit together like puzzle pieces. For instance, the fractured crust beneath eastern Antarctica could match the coastline of Australia, while western Antarctica contains pieces that could fit the southern tip of South America. These remnants date back to a time when all the continents were joined as one supercontinent called Pangaea. Pangaea existed for about 100 million years and began to break apart around 200 million years ago. Imagine being able to walk from San Diego to Beijing without getting wet. While this discovery doesn't prove that ancient civilizations inhabited Antarctica, it raises intriguing possibilities. If there were people, or even intelligent creatures building cities on Pangaea, it's reasonable to think that some evidence might still be hidden beneath the ice of the South Pole. The legend of Atlantis under the ice. Let's revisit the strange structures discovered beneath Antarctica. Some of these formations are so large they can be compared to the Eiffel Tower. A team of Belgian scientists made the discovery and believe these tower-like objects are not remnants of Atlantis, but rather natural features, specifically water conduits and sediment ridges frozen under the Antarctic ice. Essentially, they think these structures are natural tunnels and ridges, not human-made. However, this is Antarctica, and where there are mysteries, alternative theories often arise. Some still speculate that a lost city, perhaps even Atlantis, could be hidden beneath the ice. After all, some believe that the Atlanteans may have had control over much of the world 12,000 years ago. The idea of ancient civilizations and cataclysmic floods has deep roots in many cultures. For example, the Book of Genesis describes a time when water covered the earth before the creation of humanity. It begins with God creating the heavens and the earth, with the planet in a state of emptiness and darkness over deep waters. Water plays a vital role in many religious texts, often linked to destruction and rebirth. Genesis recounts how God made it rain for 40 days and nights, resulting in a deluge that wiped out all but Noah and his animals. This flood myth is just one version of a story shared by various ancient cultures, each believing in a great civilization that was lost to a flood. Some researchers point to Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, considered the oldest known ruin, dating back between 11,500 and 12,500 years. Around the same time, Atlantis is said to have sunk. While these ideas may seem different, they are all interconnected by the belief that if we trace back far enough in history, we might find a common origin. Some theorists suggest that Göbekli Tepe could be directly linked to Atlantis, implying that when the Great Flood occurred, it swept away not just Atlantis, but also Göbekli Tepe, and possibly the cities of Antarctica. The Anunnaki trapped under the ice. Imagine a world where gods mingled with humans, shaping destinies and leaving a lasting impact on history. According to ancient Sumerian texts, this was once our reality. Archaeologists discovered a tablet in the ancient city of Nippur, located in modern-day Iraq, which was a major religious center for the god Enlil, the ruler of the cosmos. Nippur was founded around 5000 BC, making it over 7,000 years old, and possibly one of the first cities to emerge after a global flood. The tablet, known as the Creation of Man, holds the Sumerian creation myth. It tells of the Anunnaki, a race of extraterrestrial beings who came to Earth in search of gold to repair their home planet Nibiru. Using their advanced technology, they genetically engineered humans to serve as laborers. Some scholars suggest these beings weren't mythical gods, but rather physical aliens from another planet. This idea gained popularity through author Zecharia Sitchin, who argued that the Anunnaki created humans to mine gold for them due to civil unrest on Nibiru. According to Sitchin, the Anunnaki accelerated human evolution, enhancing our brains to fulfill their needs. Their reign was marked by conflict, particularly over the interbreeding of Anunnaki and humans, which led to hybrid offspring seen as abominations by the ruling class. Eventually, the Anunnaki left Earth, believing they had eliminated these hybrids, but humanity survived and may even be descendants of them. In a similar biblical tale, angels fell in love with human women, creating a race of giants known as the Nephilim. God, in response to their existence, chose to flood the earth to cleanse it of these hybrids. So what does all this have to do with Antarctica? Ancient alien theorists speculate that Antarctica might be the last place on Earth hiding remnants of Anunnaki civilization, cities, outposts, and perhaps even their abandoned spacecraft, all concealed beneath a mile of ice. This ancient narrative of extraterrestrial involvement invites us to ponder the mysteries of our planet's past. Could Antarctica, with its vast unexplored territories, hold the key to uncovering the truth about our origins? The search for evidence of the Anunnaki continues, driven by the hope of revealing the secrets of our history, the most destructive volcano in history. If you had to guess the most powerful explosive event ever witnessed, you might think of the atomic bomb, but scientists believe the biggest explosion seen by humans was the eruption of the Thera volcano. This catastrophic event, which occurred around 3,500 years ago, not only blew a massive hole in the island, but also contributed to the end of the Bronze Age. The Minoan civilization, thriving on the Greek islands of Crete and Santorini, was blissfully unaware that they were living on an unstable volcano. When Mount Thera erupted, it led to the extinction of the Minoans. The effects of this eruption were felt far beyond the Mediterranean, sending shockwaves as far as China, North America, and even Antarctica. Tsunamis devastated coastal regions, volcanic ash darkened the skies, and global temperatures dropped dramatically, causing widespread famine and societal collapse. This eruption has been linked to various historical events, including the possible end of Atlantis and the biblical plagues. Some scholars suggest that the 10 plagues described in the Bible could have been a consequence of Thera's eruption, creating chaos across Egypt. The eruption's exact date is estimated to be between 1645 and 1500 BC, which isn't precise, but it gives experts a rough time frame. By around 1200 BC, the Bronze Age came to an end. Just 60 miles from the volcano was Crete, home to the bustling Minoan capital. The Minoans were pioneers, known for building the first roads in Europe, developing advanced plumbing systems, and creating sophisticated ships for trade and warfare. The Minoan palace of Knossos, associated with King Minos and the legendary Minotaur, is also linked to the story of Atlantis, as both were destroyed by natural disasters. While there are no eyewitness accounts of the Thera eruption, scientists often compare it to the more recent Krakatoa eruption in 1883, which killed around 40,000 people almost instantly. Krakatoa produced towering tsunamis and volcanic ash that spread globally, causing significant drops in temperature and vivid sunsets for years. However, Thera was even more powerful. Geologists estimate it exploded with the energy of several hundred atomic bombs in less than a second. The Minoan civilization, which had one of the greatest naval fleets of its time, was devastated by tsunami waves, wiping out coastal villages and leading to widespread starvation throughout the Mediterranean. As for what was happening in Antarctica during this time, it remains a mystery. Some theorize that when the ash from the eruption reached Antarctica, it could have plunged the region into a new ice age. Although scientists generally believe Antarctica was already covered in ice, it's possible that people were living there, struggling to survive in a harsh environment. Blocking out sunlight for several years would likely have led to their extinction. Searching for evidence of the pyramid builders. What's the story behind the so-called Antarctic pyramid? You've likely seen images online of a large pyramid-shaped structure buried in snow. Some people claim it's evidence that the Anunnaki were in Antarctica, but most scientists argue it's just a mountain that happens to resemble the Great Pyramid of Giza. This alleged pyramid is located in the Ellsworth Mountains, a rugged area with many peaks stretching for hundreds of miles. Dr. Mitch Darcy from the German Research Center for Geosciences explains that its pyramid shape is purely coincidental. He points out that there are countless mountain peaks sticking up through glaciers across Antarctica, so this one isn't particularly special. Antarctic researchers have been searching for evidence of artificial structures in the region for over 60 years, and they haven't found anything that supports the idea of a hidden city or lab. Peter Fretwell from the Scientific Committee on Antarctic Research mentions that they use radar technology to look beneath the ice, and all of their findings have been compiled into a topographical map called the bed map. This map provides a detailed view of Antarctica's terrain based on over 150 million data points. Despite their extensive research, scientists haven't uncovered any evidence of secret bases or lost civilizations. However, the mystery of the pyramid remains intriguing. Bethan Davies, a glacial geologist at Newcastle University, notes that there are cavities in the ice where a lab could theoretically exist. But she also warns that the immense pressure from the ice would eventually crush anything built there, making it unlikely for human-made structures to survive. Still, the idea of extraterrestrial beings, like the Anunnaki, hiding bases beneath the ice is a fascinating thought. What do you think about the possibility of secret alien structures in Antarctica? Ancient skull! The discovery of the oldest human remains in Antarctica, a skull found on Yamana Beach in the South Shetland Islands, has significant implications for the continent's future, especially as the Antarctic Treaty System nears its expiration in 2048. This skull, belonging to an indigenous woman from Chile who lived in the early 19th century, raises intriguing questions about human presence in Antarctica long before the era of modern exploration. While the specifics of her life remain a mystery, her remains could serve as a key piece of evidence in territorial claims. As nations prepare for potential exploitation of Antarctica's resources once the treaty expires, Chile could leverage this discovery to assert historical rights over the territory, arguing that they had a presence on the continent before any other nation. The Antarctic Treaty, signed in 1959 by 12 countries, currently ensures that the continent is dedicated to peaceful scientific exploration and prohibits military activity and mineral extraction. However, as the expiration date approaches, concerns grow about the potential for conflicts over territorial claims and resource exploitation. The situation is complex, as nations may prioritize their interests, which could lead to increased tensions in a region traditionally focused on collaboration and research. As this treaty draws closer to its deadline, the fate of Antarctica hangs in the balance, potentially shifting from a haven for scientific inquiry to a battleground for geopolitical interests. New Swabia and the Nazi UFO conspiracy. In the early years of World War II, Nazi Germany established a presence in Antarctica, claiming a territory they called Neuschwabenland, named after their expedition vessel, the Schwabenland. Officially, the expedition, which began in December 1938, aimed to establish a whaling station as Germany sought to secure whale oil, a vital commodity at the time used for everything from margarine to soap. However, rumours have long circulated about a more sinister agenda. Some speculate that the Nazis built a secret military base in Neuschwabenland, serving as a refuge for Nazi leaders fleeing the Allied forces. There are theories suggesting that after the initial expedition, the Nazis returned with a larger contingent of soldiers, engineers, and workers to construct a self-sufficient military base. As World War II progressed and Germany faced defeat, it is claimed that high-ranking officials, possibly including Hitler, fled to this Antarctic base, living out their lives in secrecy. Historical records confirm that the expedition involved significant mapping and claiming of territory, with German teams taking over 16,000 aerial photographs of the area, despite it being previously claimed by Norway. After the war, Germany made no further claims in Antarctica, and the fate of the Neuschwabenland base remains a mystery. Conspiracy theories abound, suggesting ongoing covert operations by the US and UK to locate and conquer this lost base, with some claiming it was built atop a geothermal hot spring, providing limitless energy. While these narratives sound intriguing, they often resemble the plots of spy novels more than historical fact. The truth about what happened in Antarctica during and after the war remains elusive, fueling speculation and intrigue about the hidden history of this remote continent. The impossible maps of Antarctica. The mystery of ancient maps depicting Antarctica has sparked significant debate and intrigue. One of the most notable is the 1513 map created by Ottoman Admiral Piri Reis, which astonishingly shows the coastline of Antarctica. even though the continent was not officially discovered until centuries later. What's particularly striking is that the map depicts Antarctica not as an icy wasteland, but as a lush, jungle-covered land. This idea is echoed in other historical maps, such as one by French geographer Philippe Boache from the mid-1700s, which also shows Antarctica free of ice. Another cartographer, Laurence Finet, who created maps in the early 1500s, illustrated Antarctica with flowing rivers, further adding to the enigma. The questions arise: how did these cartographers accurately represent Antarctica without ever having seen it? One theory suggests that they may have been referencing much older maps, potentially from civilizations that existed thousands of years prior, when Antarctica was indeed a different landscape. This theory challenges our understanding of history and the timeline of human exploration, raising possibilities of lost civilizations and ancient knowledge that have yet to be uncovered. The allure of these maps continues to captivate researchers and enthusiasts alike, fueling discussions about the hidden histories of our planet. What do you think about the connections between these historical events? Do you really think that these facts are true? Please let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe.